Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Site Building Live 2025. I'm Philip Garrity, Head of Marketing here at Refine, and this is our fourth edition of our annual site building webinar where we sync up ahead of team to update you on all of our recent product updates, our releases, what's in the pipeline, and what's in store generally for the year ahead. And we have some big updates to share with you this year. Today, you'll hear about everything from new cloud products to a new advanced edition of our site building app, all designed to help you get even more from your Atlassian tooling. If you're a DC customer, hang on until the end because we'll be sharing what all of it means for you as you plan your move to cloud and how we're going to help you get there. We have a packed agenda for you today. I'm going to start with a quick housekeeping. Then we have a keynote from our CEO and co-founder, Emil. Then we'll hear from three members of our product team, our head of product, Therese Alburg, plus two cloud product managers, Daniel and Dennis. Some light housekeeping before we get started. Just know that we're recording and we're going to send a copy of this webinar to your email tomorrow. Everyone's on mute, but you can still drop your questions into the chat. You should see a field on the right-hand side. We'll get to those at the end. First up, Team 25. Refine is a platinum sponsor this year, and we're going to be on the floor, on stage, at events all over Anaheim. Just look for the Refine green. We're really excited to meet you. We'll be at booth 102 in Anaheim. You can see that bright green highlight there between the sponsor workshop and the brain date. So we hope you'll come by the booth. You could come see all the features that we're going to demo for you here today, see how our cloud migration assistance works, grab some swag, enter our raffle, or we love hearing from you about how you're using Refined, what you think about what we're doing with the product, what you'd like to see more of, and so on. Walk-ups are totally fine, but if you want to have a one-on-one with any member of our team, and you can see who from our team is going to be at Team 25 at our Team 25 website, which is team25.refine.com. Just request to book us at this link you see highlighted here. We'll reach out and set you up with the right person and coordinate a time. But again, you don't have to book. You can just walk up. That's more than fine. Our Senior Enablement Manager, Raj Semi, is giving a talk at the Marketplace Theater on Wednesday, April 9th at 5:15. He's going to tell you how packaging and publishing Confluence content and functionality into Refine sites can help you make knowledge more accessible for both internal and external users and help you give and get more from your Atlassian stack. So mark your calendars, make sure you don't miss that if you're going to be in Anaheim. And here's a quick snapshot of everyone going. We're really looking forward to meeting you, so we hope you'll come up and say hi. A few other items before we kick off. We don't want Team and Site Building Live to be the only time that we interact with you, so we'd love for you to follow us on LinkedIn. Outside of email, LinkedIn is where we share out company news and product updates. Give us a follow there so we could stay connected throughout the whole year. You can also subscribe to our newsletter at refine.com/blog or on team25.refine.com. In that we share insights, inspiration, updates, and best practices right to your inbox once per quarter. And finally, one ask, help us get the word out about Refined. So like any business, reviews are essential to help us grow and build trust in the market. And more reviews means more customers, which means more revenue we can invest in making Refined as great as it can be. So if you love Refine, we'd be so grateful if you can drop us a review on the Atlassian Marketplace. Once you do, let us know via the link on our help site. If you go to the bottom of help.refine.com, you'll see a link about reviews. There you can enter for a chance to win a $100 gift card to Amazon or the retail of your choice. So that's it from me. Let's get started. I'm going to hand it over to our CEO, Emil, for a keynote.
Thank you, Philip. Hi, everyone. My name is Emil. I'm CEO and co-founder of Refined. Today, we have a packed program for you filled with exciting updates and announcements. But before we get started, I want to give you a quick intro to Refined. We at Refined are 100% focused on delivering the best site building experience to the Atlassian products. We believe that there is a lot of untapped potential in Jira and Confluence. That Jira and Confluence can be used for more purposes. Simply put, you can do way more with your Jira and Confluence. For example, a centralized branded knowledge management site that empowers teams to create, share, and access critical knowledge efficiently. Or a site designed for your partner network with documentation and a support desk to facilitate effective collaboration and service. And finally, a dedicated HR portal offering employees access to HR documentation, policies, and support for HR-related inquiries. When connecting our site building apps to Atlassian Cloud, you open up a new dimension to get Atlassian content and functionality out to more people for more purposes on your custom domain. In this example, a customer has created 3 different sites. All these sites are tailor-made for a specific target audience needs. I also want to highlight that there is a lot of potential of adding AI to Refined sites. As the content is already contained for a certain audience and purpose, you will hear more about how we are making use of AI later in this presentation. Let's look at 2024. Now, 1 year after server end of life, Refined is powering sites at 5,000 companies from 110 different countries. And 67% of our customers are in cloud and 33% are in DC. And looking at cloud progress, the number of active cloud sites that our customers have built have now reached more than 4,000. And more importantly, we passed 700,000 unique monthly end users interacting with any of our customer sites. Cloud enterprise ready is a priority for us at Refined. And last year, we are very proud to pass an audit and are now SOC 2 compliant. All our cloud products have EU and US data residency. And during 2024, we reduced the site load time with 20% for end users. And finally, last year, we hired a dedicated lead security engineer to maintain a high security posture throughout the entire organization. Please read more about our commitment to security and compliance at our Trust Center, refine.com/trust. Let's switch gears a bit. A lot of our customers have built solutions with Refined that are mission critical to their businesses. For example, can be a knowledge sites where employees are daily looking for answers and learnings to complete their job. Or a customer-facing help center where availability and performance is key to maintain a good customer relationship. To support customers running mission-critical sites, we are now releasing an advanced plan for our Refined Sites products. With the advanced plan, we want to add value for 3 target groups: administrators, site builders, and end users. And this is how we do it. For administrators, advanced administration, including audit log, granular permissions, access to premium support, and customer success. For our site builders, intelligent site operation, In the first version, it will be site analytics and search insights, making it really easy for the site builders to maintain a powerful site. And finally, for end users, enhanced end user experience. And in the first version, we will have AI search, making it really easy to find the right content. We plan to release the advanced plan later in Q2. Therese, our head of product, will share more later at this presentation. Thank you for being here. And if you are coming to Anaheim to Team 25, make sure to stop by our booth and say hi. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the programming here today. Over to you, Philip.
Thanks, Emil. Now we're going to hand it over to our head of product, Therese, for some exciting roadmap updates.
Hi, everyone. I'm Therese. I'm head of product here at Refine. I'm super excited to present to you today and also hopefully to meet some of you at Team 25. So today I'm going to cover a couple of our latest releases and also what is on our short-term roadmap. But let's start with a quick look on what we have released recently. So last year, we placed a strong focus on templates to help you build new sites faster. First, we introduced 30 new templates into our page builder, and by the end of the year, we launched site templates, which is a feature that brings new sites to life in just a few clicks. So when you create a new site, you get the option of starting from scratch or starting from a template with a predefined structured tailor for your intended use case. Site templates automatically add navigation items and relevant page layouts for each landing page, giving you a head start and also plenty of inspiration. From there, you can easily add your own Atlassian content and then simply tweak the template to suit your needs and your preferences. This fall, we also introduced a new feature allowing you to create and promote events directly on your Refine sites, making it even easier to engage your audience. This addition paves the way for more holistic use cases and enables you to further boost end user engagement on your sites. Events is built independently of Confluence or JSM, so anyone can use it, whether you are on Refine sites for Confluence or Refine sites for JSM, and whether your site is internal or external. Customers that have started using this have used events to promote internal company events, customer-facing webinars, and also for things like release communication and management. So there are many different use cases for this. We started 2024 with releasing full support for forms for Refine for JSM. And then throughout the year, we continued to work on improving the support use cases. Shortly after forms, we started working on assets, which was released just in time for Team 24. Following that, we also boosted the flexibility of how you can build support portals on Refine by introducing the ability to adapt the request type module to not only show specific request types on the landing page, instead of all that are in a group or in a project. This to allow you to tailor landing pages even better to your end user needs. We also introduced a My Approvals module in the page builder to better integrate the approval process and improve use cases where approvers do not necessarily work in native JSM. That was a quick look at some of our latest updates that you can leverage to improve your sites. And with that, it's time to move to what we are currently working on and what will be released in the near future. First, I want to continue on what Emil talked about and mention a little bit on the Atlassian app editions, which we will launch later this spring. So one of our focus areas is to better support customers that are running mission-critical sites on Refine. And one way of doing this will be by introducing an advanced plan. The Refine Sites Advanced Plan will cater to all of our customers and use cases and contain features and services that can be used throughout the lifetime of a site. We split the functionality of the advanced plan into 3 buckets for 3 different target groups. So first, we have advanced administration, which is features and services that make the life of being an admin easier. Secondly, we have intelligent site operation, which is anything that goes into monitoring and maintaining the site and the content of that site. So this is for the site owners and also for the content creators. And last, we have the enhanced end user experience, which are the advanced features targeted towards end user, which is, ultimately who you build your sites for. So we're going to release many of the planned features in the MVP, but we also have more planned throughout the year. And much of what is coming for the advanced plan are things that have been commonly requested from you. If we dive a bit into the initial launch, first, we're introducing audit logs for refined sites to provide site owners with full transparency on what is happening on the refined instance. Audit logs are critical for customers in regulated industries that need to maintain a record of changes to stay compliant. They also enable anyone to keep a close eye on the site activity and changes, enhancing operational excellence. So with audit logs, you can better understand and react to changes or troubleshoot issues that have arisen on your site. So as an example, if you notice that the performance of the site has changed or something is looking strange on the landing page, then you can go into the audit log and see if a change has been made and by whom, so that you can address it fast. Secondly, we are releasing an analytics and insights dashboard for refined sites. The objective with this is to empower site owners and content creators with data-driven insights to proactively manage and optimize the user experience on sites. Analytics gives a clear view of how users are interacting with the content on your site and can enable you to make decisions on how to optimize the structure and the content. So for example, by monitoring key metrics such as page views and searches, you can get input on if a Confluence page or a JSM request should be highlighted on a landing page or in the navigation, or if there is a need to add a promoted search result. By viewing click-through rates, you can get an idea of the effectiveness of your content. We recently started using this internally at Refined, and we're very excited about the insights we can get. We have also started to onboard our first early access customers into this as a part of preparing for the release. This is only the beginning of our analytics feature, and the development will continue throughout the year, and we're looking to add insights and recommendations based on the analytics, as well as more granular data to dig deeper into. The last thing related to the advanced plan that I wanted to mention today is on the topic of content discoverability. So over the year, we've heard a lot of valuable feedback from customers and from partners regarding the ability to discover content on sites. And that has been a focus throughout the past year. So first, with the regular search getting a major upgrade, and now also soon with AI search. We have spent some time discovering the different opportunities with AI to ensure that what we take on is value creating in our products and for you. And we're excited about where we are right now with our AI search and what it can do for end users consuming content on a specific refined site. Customers that will enable AI in their search will, with each search, get a list of suggestions of relevant questions and answers based on the search term and based on the content of this specific site. So as in this example, the user searches for the term vacation, and the AI suggests different questions and related answers that could be relevant to what the person was looking for, meaning that the end user can both quicker find the answer and also stay in the context rather than navigating through multiple pages searching for the answer. Currently, this is active on our help site, help.refine.com. So if you're interested in trying it out, you can head over there. With that, we're very eager to continue the development of the advanced plan throughout the year and then deliver even more value into the plan. Looking beyond the advanced plan, we're also developing more capabilities to make it easier to build, to migrate, and to test sites. During this spring, we will launch 2 new improvements to the site building and management experience. The first is cloud-to-cloud migration capabilities. And cloud-cloud migration means that you will be able to build a site in one place, so for example, another instance or a sandbox, and then export that site and import it to a new location. The second capability that is coming is the ability to publish sites, giving you control over when a site is ready to go live and be accessible for your target audience. This means that you can test new setups, copy existing configurations, or move to new instances without starting from scratch. And these features will make it simpler than ever to move and manage your sites. Then last on my list for today is an update on accessibility. We are aiming to be WCAG 2.1 AA compliant in the coming months, and our 2 new toolkit apps, which Daniel will tell you about in a minute, they are first in line to be accessible, followed by refined sites. We are very committed to improving the accessibility of our toolkits and sites to ensure that refined is for anyone who has a need to consume content in or from Confluence or JSM. And with that, thank you for listening to me and handing back to Philip.
Thanks, Therese. Now we're going to hand it over to Cloud Product Manager Daniel for some news about our cloud toolkits.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Daniel, and today I'd like to tell you something about the next steps for Refined Toolkit. So at Refined, we've been busy plotting the next steps for helping you upgrade your Confluence instance. Atlassian has made Forge available as the next step to bring secure and performing apps to the marketplace. We've taken the leap to invest in Forge and expand the functionality to provide a next standard of flexibility and UX to help you upgrade your Confluence. During our discovery process, we found that the current implementation of Refined Toolkit solves multiple problems in one application. It can be hard to understand when you would need Refined Toolkit. Therefore, we're splitting Refined Toolkit into 2 new applications to solve one problem in one app. Our old application, Refined Toolkit, will continue to be supported, but won't be receiving the same updates or new functionality. After I explain what the new applications are, what problem they solve, and why you should use them, I'll explain on what the next steps are and what you can expect from Refined. So what are the new applications? How will they help you? And how can you upgrade Confluence with them? Welcome to Macro Toolkit. Macro Toolkit helps users consume information on your Confluence pages. With the help of our handy macros, you can format content to make it easy for readers to understand what's up. With, for example, our numbered list macro, you'll be able to quickly understand how to perform the task set out on the page. Or with our panel macro, you can easily visually highlight important information. Additionally, with our Confluence content macros, like the news macro, you can highlight recently posted blog posts to ensure that your users are able to find the latest information and stay up to date. At the same time, you might have noticed with the previous image and this image as well that we've upgraded the design flexibility of our macros. With the new theming engine, editing experience, and styling options, getting beautifully styled and easily digestible pages has never been this easy. The theming engine allows you to set colors across your macros on your site. If you have new brand colors in your company and you like to reflect them on your macros, no worries, just update the theme. Your macros are automatically updated. We've also focused on improving the macro flexibility. There's too many new options to list here, but vertical tabs, adding icons to expands, and automatic text colors to ensure contrast, and much more to discover. And lastly, the macros are now easier to set up than ever with their new editing behavior. There's no longer a need to add tab by tab or expand by expand. Now it can all be handled by just adding one macro in which all the tabs, expands, and numbered list items can be handled. This can make setting up and managing macros that much easier. We've also added a new macro, the countdown macro. It's a handy macro to highlight prominently how long until your next release or how many weeks you still need to wait for your big event. It offers a plethora of options to ensure you can use it in any way you need. And there's more to come, much more to come. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for more exciting updates soon. As for our other new application, welcome UI Toolkit. UI Toolkit is a combination of a cross-instance navigation and the page builder macro that we know and love from Refine Toolkit. UI Toolkit helps to reduce the time users spend searching on your Confluence. Research indicates that employees spend up to 30% of their time looking for information. UI Toolkit is here to give you all the tools to help you help your employees or other users to find the content that they need. It offers a navigation to structure your Confluence spaces to ensure your users don't get lost in the endless list that sometimes is the Confluence spaces list. Additionally, you can link to other sites so you can make it extra easy for your users to find those important other products you use. Additionally, it contains the page builder macro, which allows you to transform Confluence pages into beautiful pages that can help guide the users to the content they need and highlight any important updates. So what's this new navigation I'm mentioning? It's easy to get started with an intuitive configuration page, which allows you to quickly set up the navigation to your company needs. It will persist at the top of Confluence pages across your instance, therefore being a guiding light to help users find their way back if they get lost in the dark corners of Confluence. It offers up to 2 levels of nesting to make it easy for you to structure your navigation. And of course, it comes with customizable theming. Note that, for example, the text color is automatically set to ensure optimal contrast for your users. This is important to ensure your site is accessible for all users. The page builder has been introduced in Refine Toolkit a few months ago, and it's a powerful and flexible tool to create beautifully styled pages that allow you to both guide users towards important content, highlight new or updated content, and there's just a lot to discover here. If you're not already using it, it can really help you up your space landing pages or just any page in your space. So this is a brief overview of the tools available in Refined UI Toolkit to create a guided experience in Confluence. As a brief note on accessibility, Therese already mentioned it, but we've made sure for these toolkits that all new or updated functionality are up to the standards of WCAG 2.1 AA guidelines. And we're aiming to have all of Macro and UI Toolkit to be compliant by these guidelines by June 2025. So those for a legal obligation to be compliant or for those who accessibility is a focus, we've got you covered. That was an overview of the new applications, what to use them for and what they contain. So what's next? As of course, this is just the beginning of these new powerful applications. Macro and UI Toolkit will be released soon. Sign up to our newsletter on refine.com/blog to learn more. For Macro Toolkit, we're expecting to welcome some new macros soon as well, so keep your eyes open for more refined news. As for UI Toolkit, more information will follow, but there's definitely more in the pipeline. You might also be wondering about our old application, Refine Toolkit, and what's going to happen. We'll maintain the functionality that it has, so you can keep on using it. Having said that, Macro and UI Toolkit offer so much new functionality, and we're hoping that you'll switch over and find out how much more you can get out of our new applications. So, how do you get started? If you have our old application, you'll need to uninstall it, and then simply install Refined Macro Toolkit and Refined UI Toolkit. If you're on a monthly payment plan, the transition to the new app should cover the period you've paid for automatically. If you're on a yearly payment plan, you can go ahead and move and contact our support on help.refine.com, and they'll help you with covering the period you've paid for. As for pricing, Refined Macro Toolkit will have the same pricing as our current, our old application, Refined Toolkit. Refined UI Toolkit will be free of charge, meaning there's no additional cost in switching from our old toolkit to our new toolkits. We are very excited to hear your thoughts on the upcoming toolkits and what you're missing or what you're looking forward to, and when they're released, what you're able to do with them. So please let us know via help.refine.com or in Anaheim, so we can ensure we can help you get the most out of Confluence. Thank you for listening. Back to you, Philip.
Thanks, Daniel. Now we are going to hand it over to another product manager, Dennis, who's going to walk us through what all of these updates mean for your DC to cloud migration.
All right then. Sorry for that, everyone, but thank you, Philip, for the help. And hello, everyone. My name is Dennis. I'm a product manager here at Refined. First of all, thank you all for sticking around. We'll soon get to any questions, but before that, I wanted to briefly talk to you about your migration options and what to consider when you're moving to cloud. So obviously, when considering a cloud migration, the first question is, what are the options, right? So let's have a look at those. On cloud, as you've learned here today, Refined has the following products. We have Refined sites for both Confluence and JSM. Here you'll have the full site experience and feature suite with the themes, the page builder, custom domains, templates, the integration and combination of both your Confluence and Jira Service Management, promoted search results, and more. Then we have Macro Toolkit. This is great for focusing on formatting and highlighting Confluence content, enhancing it with the Refined Toolkit macros. And finally, UI Toolkit, offering that enhanced in-Confluence navigation and great landing pages using the page builder. On the data center side, you have the Buy Now Classics, I suppose. We have Refined for JSM, Refined for Confluence, and Refined Toolkit. So on the surface, it seems quite straightforward. There's coverage for what I had on DC available on cloud. That's great. If I've used Refined for Confluence or Refined for JSM, you can move to Refined Sites for Confluence or Refined Sites for JSM, or a combination, of course. If you've used Refined Toolkit on data center, you'd migrate that to Macro Toolkit on cloud. And if you're just using Refined for JSM today, the clear path would be obviously to move to Refined Sites for JSM. But adding Confluence to the mix, we suddenly have a lot of options, so let's consider them. Firstly, though, one thing to keep in mind regarding all of this is that the architecture between DC and cloud are a bit different. So on server and on data center, for both Refined for Jira and Confluence, the app is deployed directly on the base Atlassian platform. So when you enable it globally, the product acts as a skin on default Confluence instance or on the default JSM Help Center. And the same URL will be used as the native instance is accessed on. Of course, there is the possibility of creating multiple sites with Refined and perhaps not use Refined globally. And with this option, you could have many secondary sites themed with Refined and then select spaces projects to those sites. But these will still be stemming from the same native Atlassian instance, and the URLs would be extensions of the base URL. The cloud infrastructure is a bit of a different ballgame. Here we of course wanted customers to be able to achieve the same type of sites as they've gotten used to on DC, but also more than that. So our solution was to develop a SaaS app. So Refined on Cloud is essentially a SaaS with integration apps for both Confluence and the Jira side. So this setup allows us to provide the same functionality as we could on DC, but on the cloud deployment. So this would allow our users to create sites and group Atlassian content within those sites, as well as having the same look and feel and features that you'd recognize from the DC side available to them. So the setup gives us a lot of flexibility. You can freely mix content from both Confluence and JSM on your sites and landing pages, which you cannot currently do to the same extent, at least on Data Center, to, for example, integrate documentation and support into one seamless user experience and site. So great setup, but this setup also inherently puts some distance between your Refined site and Confluence instance. So what we'd like for you to take with you, and the reason for us having structured our new products the way we have, is to consider the following questions. How do you use or plan on using your Confluence Cloud instance? Who are creating and maintaining the content? And what are those people's needs? Who is your audience? And there's often more than one audience group as well, right? So who will be consuming the information? And then finally, how can you serve those audiences and both of these groups really in a good way on cloud? On DC, you had almost like an all-in-one package where these parts were all very integrated, so you might not have needed to think about it that much. So let's dive into some good matches and examples. So for teams that have almost everyone collaborating on content, doing cross-functional project work, using living documents, you want to have teams find important documentation, provide guided pathways and easy access. For this, UI Toolkit is great. It's enhancing what you already have in Confluence by giving your teams that enhanced collaboration as well as improved navigation. So essentially a way to accelerate content discovery while providing custom branded, nice looking space overviews. And all of this, of course, while still offering that direct connection to Confluence as the main editorial tool. And then we have Refined Sites for consuming content. Here you want to have fully branded, personalized experience for teams and non-daily Atlassian users down to the very URL of the site. You can allow them easy access to content from Confluence presented in the context of your Refined site, where each of your sites would be purpose-built for a specific target audience. And as previously mentioned, you can freely mix and match Confluence and JSM here on your site to perhaps reach even more audiences. So cloud opens up a lot of these possibilities for how teams collaborate and share knowledge. These options give you ways to enhance experiences for collaboration as well as for consuming and sharing knowledge. So to know the migration path, you need to think about how one of these areas can replace the experience that you have on DC today. But also one does not exclude the other. And as Emil alluded to in the keynote, you can do way more. And you could get more value out of migrating to Atlassian Cloud by enhancing how teams collaborate and navigate in Confluence with the UI Toolkit and Macro Toolkit, while at the same time serving knowledge to teams and audiences using Refined sites for any number of use cases and for different audiences. So hopefully this brings some clarity or at least perspective on how to approach your cloud migration and the options you have available. This is all, of course, a lot to take in, and we know that the move to cloud is not a trivial task, and it's always our priority to make this as seamless as possible. I wanted to give a shout out here to the Refine Migration Center that's set up over at our help site. Here you'll find comparisons between our cloud and on-prem offerings, as well as preparation guides and migration guides, as well as general documentation on the tools available. From here, you also find best practices when it comes to migrating, and you can get in contact with our support to help on migration as needed. And speaking of the tools available, final shout out here, if you're moving your full sites from data center to cloud, we do have a migration assistant available in the DC products, the Cloud Migration Assistant. And this tool gives you a step-by-step wizard for each of your individual sites where you can configure what to include, and then finally you get a nice overview of what the differences are comparing your DC site and the context of your specific site and the options you've selected and how that would then end up looking on the cloud side. So that's it from me. Thank you for your time. And with that, I'll hand it back to you, Philip.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Okay, so now we're going to take some questions. We only got one question. If you have any, you can drop them now. But it was related to JSM. Andreas asked, is it already possible to deactivate the standard portal in JSM and only use refined, like you can in data center? Therese, can you help us out there?
Yes. So it's not possible on cloud to replace the portal in the same way as you can do on data center. Because of the way it works on cloud, you would need to guide your users to the refined site, so you don't necessarily need to tell them about the JSM portal. And then what we have is we have some resources on our help site where you can see how you can set up email notifications, for example, to ensure that your customers or end users end up on the refined site and not on the native portal.
Okay, great, thank you. And if anyone needs help finding that info, you can always reach out to support. We have one from Brandon. I think this will be for you, Daniel. Is there any plan to deprecate the UI toolkit in favor of the macro toolkit in the future?
Sorry, just to understand the question, this is about the deprecating the old toolkit.
I think that's what's meant. Yeah.
So we are aiming at keeping on supporting the old toolkit, but not necessarily delivering new features and functionality there. So as it stands, there's currently no plans to deprecate the app. So you can continue to use it if you currently are using it.
And another one for you, Daniel. Do you know if live document editing will work with the toolkit macros? Is there any consideration there?
Yes, we are in the process of working on that. To an extent, it should already work, but we're fixing the final parts of that. So with the new toolkit application, the new macro toolkit application, live pages should be partially supported now, and they will be better supported in the future.
Great. And then one more for you, Daniel, or maybe all of you, from Conrad, they said, when will the countdown macro or other new macros, will those be available on the DC version?
So I will take the lead here, perhaps, if Dennis you want. So we're currently not bringing the countdown macro to DC. This is currently only the focus on the cloud to bring new macros there.
Good. Okay, that looks like it for the questions. So thank you all. Thank you to our presenters. Thank you all for joining us, to our customers. We're grateful for you and for your business, and we hope we get a chance to see you in Anaheim. Take care.